Alright, hi guys. So today, I know I promised you, like always, to be there a little bit sooner, and you probably are wondering where I am. Yeah, this holiday season was a little bit more busy than what I figured it would be. That's why I didn't have time to upload or film or anything like that. Especially around New Year's, Matt got sick, so he was in bed. I was taking care of him. We just kind of stayed home, and then there was a bunch of running around all of a sudden, and yeah, it has not been, like, it has been a fun time, but I have not had much time for my channel. So first and foremost, Happy New Year to everybody. This is the first video of the new year. It's pretty exciting to think that, like, it's already 2016. It also made me realize that I'm gonna have to double check the date on this, but I'm pretty sure within like the next couple of days, exactly a year ago, I started this channel because I believe January 15th of last year was our first appointment with my gynecologist. And so I think like a couple days before that I started the YouTube channel, just like talking about everything and stuff. So if you haven't seen those videos, go check back and see where I started out. I might try and link them below so you can just watch them and see how everything started. The whole setup and things were a little bit weird because I didn't know what to do yet. I didn't have the camera that I have now and the lighting and the setup and all that stuff, but I might think about doing like a trying to conceive. I think I did like a TTC tag or something to start out to kind of explain what is going on. So I think I might do that as like the 1 year anniversary just to see what changed, how far we got and all that stuff, just to kind of do an update. Anyway, so the other thing that I noticed as soon as I posted it, I completely messed up because I told you guys that the last TTC video was cycle date 27. Which I was thinking about, I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. So no, it was not cycle day 27. I think it was like, I'm not sure which day it was now, crap. But anyway, it was definitely not cycle day 27. I don't know how, well, I do know how that happened because it was the 27th day of December. So I think I just kind of looked on my like map and just seen 27 and figured it was cycle day 27. But it wasn't. I'm trying to make this quick, by the way, too, because I have somewhere to be today. And I just wanted to film this quick so that I can edit it and upload it tonight, just so you guys are updated in the new year. So today for me is cycle day 31. Of like a usual 32-day cycle. Today's Monday, so AF is supposed to be coming on Wednesday. As you can imagine, yes, I have been testing like crazy, and I am going crazy. I think that's kind of why I'm doing the video too, is because today has been a breaking point for me where I am really upset. I've been crying this morning. I am just out of it. And I guess I should explain why. Because as most of you know, that with my miscarriage, like my angel baby, I tested positive at 9 DPO, which was around like I was 3 weeks and 3 days pregnant, which is super early. Like, don't get me wrong, I knew that it was super early, but the line was like pretty there. Like, we could see it without like guessing and like, can you see this? Can you see that? So that's kind of what I had my heart and my mind set on this time around, that I would be testing like 9 DPO or 10 DPO, depending on if I wanted to test New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Okay, so it was close to New Year's, and it was like the day before, so I think I was like 8 DPO, actually 7 DPO. Now don't start laughing at me, you guys know I'm a piano stick addict and I had a bunch of pregnancy tests here. So I was like, oh, what the hell, like I might as well use one and see if there is anything on it. Now it's 7 DPO, I used the last one fall that I had, and I swore to God I saw the same line that I had before. I have pictures, I'm going to try and insert them as I'm talking, but I can't promise anything just because today is a hectic day with inserting pictures. It's just a hassle because they're on my phone back and forth trying to edit. I don't know, I'll try, but don't get mad at me if I don't. So anyway, yeah, 7 DPO, I took the wand fold and I swore I saw a line. So I was like, okay, probably still early because it was really faint, but I swore and I thought that I could see something. So I was like, okay, so 9 DPO last time around was a pretty good line. that's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe at 8 DBO I can get one of those faint ones and already know earlier, and I guess at 7 DBO I was like, maybe I'll get a squinter, which I thought I had. So 8 DBO rolled around, so the day before New Year's Eve, and I tested again. I'm pretty sure that day I used First Response and the Clear Blue with the Blue Plus, and I think that was it, because that's all I had in the house. I think, oh gosh, I can't even get it together anymore. I know for sure I used the Clear Blue because those are the ones that I had home. I don't know about the First Response. I don't know if I got them that day or not. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I got it together. So that day I used the Clear Blue in the morning. Now in the afternoon I swore I saw something again, but the blue dye tests are always like, eh, and it didn't look as dark as the test I had last pregnancy. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I had somewhere to go with my dad that afternoon, and while he was in his appointment, I went into the local grocery store because I had to grab some things for dinner the next night, and I was like, I might as well get some First Response early results, because if I think I see a line, I'm pretty sure they should have one. Now, my history with First Response early results is not that great. I know people say that Femera is out of your system by the time you're supposed to be testing. That for me, like a couple of cycles ago, was not the case. I did take the Femera and I did take the First Response, and I did have lines, and they're still there because I still have the box. Turns out that they told me that it is with the Femera that like the lines can show up and stuff. I know that that's what they're supposed to say, but for me it was actually true. Okay, so I was iffy about the First Response, but I was like, if it's a squinter, I'm not going to deal with it, but if I see a line, then obviously something is like there. So that afternoon I was holding my pee for a couple hours, and I tested, and once again I swore I saw something, but it was more of a squinter than a line too. So then New Year's Eve rolls around, and I keep testing and testing, and the lines do not get darker. They're still the squinting lines. A couple of them Matt saw too, not all of them. So I think New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, one of the two. New Year's Day, because that's when, oh my gosh, this is what happens when you're unprepared and you're just trying to make a video. Anyway, one of these days I went out and I bought a cheapy blue dye test. Just the 1-pack or whatever at Walmart, I think it was. And I used that evening, and right away a line showed up. Like a, still a very faint line, but more seeable than the other ones, if that makes any sense, if that's even a word. So yeah, that's why we got excited. We saw something more than all the other ones. But then I started Googling, and a lot of people said that those cheap blue dye tests are horrible, like their dog would get a freaking positive, and they were always positive. So I started freaking out. I'm like, oh, it's not a positive, and this and that. Meanwhile, I'm temping, and I think, hold on, New Year's Eve was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today's Monday. So New Year's Day, I woke up, I think, and obviously I woke up, but I think that's the day. And I took my temp, and it spiked up really high. And I'm going to show you guys my chart in just a second. So it spiked up really high. So I was like, well, something is up, because my temperature has never been this high, especially not this close to my period. I know the cycle that I conceived, I didn't temp. I had a couple of days that I was missing because it was kind of like in whatever cycle. But this time around, it spiked up really high, as high as it ever has. And then I was like, okay, so something. And I tested, and squinty lines, like I'm just doing this because I'm like, I see them, and I think Matt's getting line eyes now too, because I keep telling him to look at them and look hard. So I'm gonna say I've seen lines, but I'm pretty sure for most of you guys that don't really like care because it's not your cycle and not your baby, like it's different when it's yours because you want to see something rather than it's somebody else. You're like, what do you even see? There's nothing on there. So I think it's one of those situations. Even though I had a couple of tests that I posted on a bunch of pages, and people were just as confused as me, which confused me even more. So anyway, for the last 4 days now, 4 or 5, I have had the exact same high freaking temperature every day. Every day, 4 days in a row, there's like a straight line on my chart that is like the same temperature. I'll show it to you guys right now. you can see, that is pure confusion, because I'm like, if you compare it to all the other ones, it doesn't, like, I've never had this. Like, so my first thought was like, the second day I'm already like, ugh. Like, I wanted to have an answer. If it went lower, I would have been like, okay, fine, AF's on its way. If it would have been higher, I'd been like, okay, maybe I am pregnant. But right down the freaking middle, it stays the same. So, after the third day, I'm like, crap, is my thermometer broken? Because I heard a lot of people ask me that too. So I went and I checked the batteries, everything's fine. I measured my temp in the morning. It was like higher, so it can go higher, and it was lower too. So it works, but supposedly I have the same temp every morning for the past 4 days, and it's the highest temp I've ever had, and it is so freaking close to AF like I've never had ever. Now, I know I seem fine right now because I'm talking about it and I'm trying to joke about it and all that stuff, but in all reality, I am upset just because by now I should have an answer. Like, I should know whether I'm pregnant with a positive pregnancy test or my temp should have dropped. I'm really hoping that, first of all, my luteal phase didn't like lengthen itself, which in some cases is a good thing because it gives your egg more time to implant before it like just demolishes and comes back out. But I don't know, it's just like, I just want an answer, you know what I mean? Like, it's never been like this, and this cycle is just dragging on and on and on, and it's not giving me any hints whatsoever because the temp is staying the same. It's not going up or down, and the tests are freaking squinters, so that doesn't help me. And I don't know, I'm just so confused about it all, and I am upset about it because it's just very draining. Like, yes, I know I talk about this every cycle, and obviously the 2-week wait is hard for anybody, but I'm starting to like realize what my body is doing. I know when ovulation is getting closer. I know what my temps are like, and I've never had this where it's this high and stayed high this close to my period. Like, literally tomorrow should be the day that I usually start a little bit of spotting, and then Wednesday should be the day that AF is here. My biggest fear is waking up tomorrow morning and having a huge drop, and then just the emotions that are gonna come tomorrow morning if that happens are like, that already scares the heck out of me, because I know that like every day that the temp is the same, yes, I get mad because I'm like, you're not telling me anything, but in a way it gives you hope because you're like, you're still way up high. But with it not moving, you're just left hanging there. You're clinging on to hope, and this close to your period, the drop would have to be huge in order for me to still get my period on Wednesday. So it wouldn't even be a case slowly, like, get ready for AF. It would be like, bam, here she is. So I don't know, I'm really confused, and in a way I just want an answer, you know what I mean? Like, yes, obviously I've been like trying to tell myself that things obviously didn't work out the way that it happened last time. Obviously, like, I miscarried, so something went wrong. I obviously wouldn't want the same thing to happen again, and that's kind of what I've been telling myself, just to try and like be okay and not like break down and have like a mental breakdown, really. It's just in a way that you I tested early at 9 DPO, and it was a strong positive, and it ended so soon. So in a way, I'm hoping that if I am one of those ladies now that need to wait like a week past their period to even get a positive, that it turns out positive, and that like everything happened the way it was supposed to, and it implanted nice and slow, and everything worked the way it was supposed to, and that I get to keep this baby. On the other hand, I'm like, so what if this all ends tomorrow or Wednesday with AF showing up? Then all of this hope and all of this praying and all of this was for no reason. Now you're like, okay, well, you're ovulating. This is only your second cycle after your miscarriage. But to me, it only took us 2 tries on the right dosage of Femera the first time. That's one reason. Second of all, we did everything exactly the same like we did the cycle we conceived this cycle around. And of course my camera would die. Okay, so I gotta make this fast. So yeah, one is we did everything exactly the same like the cycles before, and that's how we conceived. We had like it was like after 2 cycles that we conceived on the Femera the first time around. So we did everything exactly the same this time around, from the baby dancing, from the pre-seed, from the vitamins, from everything. So if it wouldn't work this time, there would be questioning starting to come up, like, did something get blocked during the miscarriage? By the way, if you hear Bailey with her collar and stuff, she's just walking around checking things out. So yeah, there would be like, did anything get blocked during the miscarriage? Would I have to have another HCG? Is there anything else that is like still left in there? I don't know, but obviously you start questioning things if it shouldn't happen again. What else? The other thing that's kind of like hard for us, or for me, is as most of you again know, hopefully, I think, I'm originally from Germany. Now the government is giving me a little bit of a hard time just because of course, she's right here. Just because of the whole like waiting for my sponsorship to be over. Like, it's a long process, and there's a bunch of paperwork involved and all that fun stuff. So it is really hard for me, for both of us really. But anyway, long story short, like, they're taking forever with a certain visa that I need. And if they don't get it in order, I'm not going to have healthcare coverage starting February like 21st or something. It would only be probably for a couple weeks until they finish everything up, but still that's a couple weeks that I don't have healthcare. Now, if I got pregnant right now, or if I am pregnant right now, things wouldn't be as bad because I would be out of the whole miscarriage zone that I was in last time by the time February 21st would roll around. Second of all, the thing that would happen is if I didn't get pregnant now, we wouldn't be able to try for 2 or 3 cycles. The issue with that is if I got pregnant like January sometime now, like towards the end, if I start Femera again and my cycles are somewhat on time and stuff, I would literally be around the 6 to 8 week mark right when I don't have healthcare coverage. Now that to me is just scary. This time around, obviously I could see my doctor, get checked out, be sure that everything was out to not get infected, and I was lucky enough that I had a natural miscarriage. I did not have to have a D&C. If I were, God forbid, to miscarry again the time that if I got pregnant like next cycle, I would literally be without healthcare and having to deal with a miscarriage on my own without like supervision of any kind. I wouldn't know if anything, like if everything came out. I would have no idea what to do. And if we didn't get pregnant that cycle and we got pregnant in like the cycle after, which would be like end of February, I would find out exactly I'm pregnant when I don't have healthcare. So I can't check on my baby, I can't go have an ultrasound done, none of that. So it would just not be smart for us, I don't think, to do anything. We haven't really discussed like the possibilities with my doctor, just to see what the fees would be if we would have to come in for like an emergency visit or something and I'm not covered. So I don't know, I guess we'll have to address that if we do not get pregnant this cycle. But all that stuff just adds on to the pressure of it's now or you have to wait a couple months, which I don't really want to. But if there is no other option, and if the options of coming to see her when we need to is too expensive, we don't really have a choice, right? So yeah, fingers crossed right now for this. I'd appreciate some support